and crashing on the Autobahn.
He crashed?
He said he crashed like 7 times.
I don't
He
know,
said he keeps crashing.
just the fact that he's driving on the Autobahn seems like a pretty big step for him. I was He went on that Alpine slide. I didn't expect him to do that. I don't know. Are you muted, Derek? It keeps showing a muted
Who?
thing.
No, why?
I don't know. This Google
No.
thing's weird. Like there's a mute thing that comes up. All right. Maybe it's automatically muting you when you're not talking. That's weird. All right, hold on. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. I'm gonna count it off. 1, 2, 3. Record.
Recording.
Recording.
Live from the internet, it's Popsicles.
Number 85? 86.
Number 85. It's officially 85.
All right.
Oh, okay. That's cool because you know where I'll be on Saturday?
Where? At the Gamble House?
I'll be at the Gamble House watching Back to the Future on Doc Brown's lawn.
They're all together right now in London. The pictures are amazing. I just saw a picture
It's
of Marty and Doc. I saw what's her face, the original um,
Claudio Wells.
Claudia Wells with Marty with I keep calling him Marty with Michael J. Fox.
that always it worries me when an A-list person goes to those cons. Like Michael J. Fox has never been to one of those. I wonder if things are okay.
Guys, he looks like he's fine.
Yeah.
I mean financial wise.
Oh, he's fine.
I
I
know
mean,
the
come
Michael
on.
J. Fox
I
show
think they're
wasn't as
doing
big
it.
as
I think they're doing it more to just honor. I mean, it's a big anniversary. They
Yeah.
probably offered them a lot of money, and I think he wanted. It looks like they just wanted to see each other. They look genuinely happy to be back together and talking about the movie. I watched
I
some
like
of
the way that
videos.
you think of it as like they needed to get together.
I think that is the case. I think it seems to be the case in this instance. Like at some point, especially since this was for many of these people the career defining thing, and it's fucking Back to the Future, man. Like it's not
They should
just
have done it at
some.
Comic-Con.
I agree they should have done it at Comic Con, but apparently, I mean, Comic Con doesn't pay people to come out.
Mm.
So I think this is a for-profit convention, and they probably offered them a lot of money. So everybody's like, let's do this. They'll give us a lot of money, and we get to have a reunion, and it's like a free year. I'm sure they paid for all of them to fly to London, so like, hey, free London vacation sounds pretty good to me. You know?
Speaking of Comic-Con, we're we're on our post Comic-Con life. I
Yep.
miss
Yeah.
Comic-Con.
I miss
I
Comic
really missed it
Con.
this year.
Phil and I were just talking about how we miss Comic
If
Con.
you
We
want
were
to hear
just
Brendo's 4-hour diatribe on Comic-Con with Phil, that exists on
that's out. That's a thing.
the Benview network on
On
Radio
Radio
Brendo
Brendo
Man.
Man.
Yeah.
And there's also the
We didn't
giant.
record.
We didn't record a
Well, we didn't
popsicles
record a Popsicles at Comic-Con, but there is the
8 minutes of us with Phil.
Benview Megacast,
Yeah.
including our yearly getting kicked out of the soda room bit that we're gonna make an annual event.
We didn't get kicked out the one year it closed, and that wasn't our fault. That's the only time we've ever been we didn't get kicked out. We got asked to stop recording, but seriously, fuck that shit. I'm still the more I think about it, the more angry I get because
Before we get into that, before we
that was
do,
some serious bullshit.
Brendo's got a little serenade for. Actually, you just heard Brendo serenade us.
Oh yeah, you got to send me that because I don't have it.
Right, but they just heard it.
They just heard it. It's awesome.
What was the song? Gotta Dance With Me. Shut Up and Dance with Brendo.
Shut Up and Dance with Brendo.
Yeah, that was the remix by
Number one
Resident
single.
by what would we call him? Veteran of this podcast, Matt Cruz. I ran into him and I told him what we were up to song-wise, and then he sent me the next day. The next day he sent that.
All it takes after all these years, you just gotta run into him and be like, "Hey,
yeah,
what's up with that?"
And we have no shortage of Brendo pop tunes, and we'll do our resident segment right now. Brendo,
all right,
just sing those lyrics, and Benson, perk up those ears. Let's do this.
Wow. Okay. When I need motivation, my one solution is my queen, 'cause she stays strong. Yeah, yeah, she is always in my corner, right there when I want her. All these other girls are tempting, but I'm empty when you're gone, and they say, do you need me? Do you think I'm pretty? Do I make you feel like cheating? And I'm like, no, not really, 'cause, oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She's always right there when I need her. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her. This song is disturbing. She walks like a model. She grants my wishes like a genie in a bottle. Yeah, yeah, 'cause I'm the wizard of love. What the fuck is this song, Derek? And I got the magic wand. All these other girls are tempting, but I'm empty when you're gone, and they say, do you need me? Do you think I'm pretty? Do I make you feel like cheating? And I'm like, no, not really. Whatever this song is can fuck itself, but that's good.
It's the number one song in America.
What the fuck is wrong with people? This is horrible. This is basically saying women are objects, treat them like objects, and they're all women want dudes. That's all they want. That's all they're worth for. Fuck this song, whatever it is.
We'll save it for Brendo Man's Feminist Corner at the end of the...
Okay, is that a new segment? That's a new segment.
Benson has to decode Brendo's feminist rants.
That is called Wizard of Love by DJ Big Dick.
Well, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but it's non.
I almost was like, wait, he actually knows this.
That is Cheerleader by Omi. O-M-I?
Who the hell is that?
Never
I don't know.
Some dickbag is who he is. Like.
They got on my radar because of sister podcast 90210 Blazer Cat, who was tweeting about how much she hates that song.
Well, I'm glad I'm in the same...
Yeah, there you go.
I'm in the same boat as Cat, because holy shit, this is horrible. I mean, pop songs are supposed to be a little trashy, but this is ridiculous.
Right. You didn't bat an eye at the Nick Jonas song about the guy getting jealous about
that
other
one
guys
was super rapey.
Yeah. You're a little lagged on the video, and it's like you're yelling silence. It's funny. Anyway, we got big news. One of us has big news about a long-standing end to some misery.
Well, I got a job. I'm not completely out of the woods yet because I got to go to the temp agency and do a background check and possibly a drug test.
Do you think that'll fuck it up?
No. I'm off the pot, as the adults would say. But which is a fun challenge unto itself.
Right.
But I think I did get denied on a background check once because my credit was bad. And I'm like,
Huh.
that's a job. And they said it's an error. It's like it's an indicator of your responsibility. And I'm like, but how am I supposed to improve my credit score if I don't have a good job? Like, you're feeding into that bullshit, man.
Where
It's
was
just a
that?
number. It was some job. I don't even. It was some bullshit job, man.
I thought you were gonna say something like your fen assault was marked on your background check
I have
or
no
something.
record. I was detained by police once, but I was
Oh, what?
7. Yeah, I was 17. I was
Was that
detained
at
a
the Rage
couple
of the Machine
times.
concert?
No, I was not. We ran
What
away
were you
from the.
detained for?
My brother and his friends were streaking. I was an
That's the
accessory.
lamest crime. Accessories.
Well, I had to sit there on the curb being held by a cop while all of my classmates at school, it seemed like, drove by. It was pretty humiliating.
How are
Although
you?
I did kind of look like a bat, so people later in school were like, "What happened? Did you like do something at the Highlands?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, shit got real." Um,
How do
but
you
no,
become an accessory to streaking? Is it you just holding their
driving the
clothes?
getaway car with their clothes inside. Um,
Interesting. But
but
you were never charged of any of
Well,
it.
no, and that can you? So you can imagine right now, my mom, when at 2 in the morning she gets a phone call and says, "Mrs. Creasy, this is the San Diego Police Department. We have your sons." You can imagine how that went.
Hmm.
That was a wonderful time.
Did you give the cops a hard time, or did you?
A little bit, give them a little
Oh,
guff.
oh my God. Could be
What the
dead now.
fuck? There were like probably so many actual crimes going on, and some teenagers decided to. Here's the problem. Here's the fucking problem. Was we did not. We thought we was going to be nobody there, and we did not take into account that this was when Titanic was out, and so Titanic got out
This is a
super
factor.
late. Titanic got out super late, and so just as Titanic was getting out was when my brother and those guys were running through the main plaza area of our like outdoor mall, and so yeah, it was a scene, man.
If like viral video of you yelling at a cop and getting shot came out, I would replace Popsicle's feed with that just that video. R.I.P. Brendo.
Yeah, well, it was an overzealous rent-a-cop that shouldn't even have called the cops, and then he called the cops, and the cops were like, "Oh shit, we got to deal with this." They were annoyed, and so they kept giving us shit because like they knew they weren't gonna book us or anything, but then they had to call our parents, and it was a whole thing. And again, my mom got involved, and that was really bad. Of course, I got in trouble. My brother didn't, and he was the one who streaked.
Oh wow.
That's the
Trouble
justice.
with your mom or the police?
Everybody, man.
Oh wow.
Well, they tried to charge my friend who had just turned 18 with contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Which
And
I said
we're,
is my punk band. That's the name of my punk band.
and no, there was no charges, but I got grounded for like a month, and I got my AOL taken away, and
Oh.
Most 90s story
much
ever.
for 1996 Brendo, who like the internet was like everything, and
1993?
96.
Oh, okay.
Was this
I
when you were
first
running your dirt sheet?
I was running my dirt sheet. I had my e-wrestling fed, and I had an internet girlfriend in Texas. And I remember
what was her name?
her name was Jerry, Jeri, last name Valentine. She was a real person. Um,
Sounds
and
like
I
a
think
fake name though.
when we met on some Christian kid forum, like
Oh.
chat room, and so then what happened was I snuck out of the house while I was grounded, went to the payphone with like $5 in quarters because again this was 1996, and
You've always been resourceful.
I called Jerry in Texas to tell her why I wasn't online because she was very upset, and then I talked to her for the first time, and we said sweet nothings on the
Oh yeah,
phone.
how did that go?
Well, I said like she's like I want to go out there and visit you, and I was like I'd take you to the beach and
Oh, I've heard that spiel
serenade
before.
you.
Yeah, I've
It
heard
was
all that.
it was that whole. That's my only clue.
Wow. I always hear a new story with you. You're Brendo Gump. You have so many stories.
I do. It's a lot of stories because I was a wacky kid with a lot of.
How did that end, the internet girlfriend?
I
You
I
send each
remember
other
I sent her
pictures
my
in the mail.
picture, and then she wouldn't send me her picture, and
That's
then
fine.
again, my mom, she ended up canceling my AOL, so I never talked to her again. We ended up after when I could use the internet again, we found there was a much cheaper. It was like one of the first internet service providers in like San Diego, and it was like $10 a month for unlimited internet. So my mom's like, "You're getting that now, no more AOL," and I was like, "No." Because AOL had all the chat rooms and stuff that all the cool kids were in.
And you had no, you couldn't find her if
I
you didn't have AOL.
I mean, I think I sent her an email, but she just never replied.
Oh.
She
Oof.
broke my heart,
Rough
and
I was
stuff.
about to say that
that's why I'm gay, you guys.
in
That turned you.
1995, I first got the internet, and the first website I went on was ToyStory.com because I saw the website on the commercial. Not as interesting
Nice.
as your whole internet love affair, but
My mom
an
wouldn't let
anecdote is an
me when I
anecdote.
first started going on AOL. She wouldn't let me go to like websites. I had to just stay on AOL, and then I finally like just behind her back would like go to other websites.
I
And then,
just was messaged by a girl I would talk to in MSN chat in 2002
oh,
onward,
that's
like
always weird.
no. It was like over the years we talked for years and years, and then over
Yeah,
the years we would keep in touch. And then she messaged me. I think I had talked to her maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and she had a kid. It was weird.
but you've never met her in person.
No, but we caught up and stuff.
I
It was
have an
nice. It was
internet.
like pen pal,
I
like
have an
pen pal.
internet friend who she started like posting comments on brendoman.com when she was like still in high school, and now she's like a
The
college. She's
president of
like,
the United
well,
States.
she's like a doctor, and I'm like, holy shit. And
Doesn't
that's
that
how
bug
long
you
I've
when
been like doing
people?
shit on the internet. It's like this girl's whole high school, college, post college, like she got her doctorate, and all I've been doing is doing my dumb blog and all this other dumb shit.
How many hours of wrestling have you watched today?
Today none because
Okay.
I'm trying to finish up. But yesterday, I'm not
I
gonna
met your
lie.
mother. Yes.
Yesterday, hey, How I Met Your Mother got me a fucking job. So,
That not really, but
oh yes, it had the 3 for 3 in watching How I Met Your Mother, and then right after Comic Con, I get a job. That
okay.
streak continues. But no, oh, how many hours of wrestling? On Sunday, I watched like 6 hours, and on Monday, I watched like 6 hours because there was a WWE pay-per-view, there was a New Japan pay-per-view, and then there was Monday Night Raw, and I was also catching up on some other. So in the last 2 days, like 15 hours, I don't know.
See
That's all gone soon. What am I gonna do?
if you applied those hours to a medical degree, you'd be Dr. Brendo by
Hey,
now.
I wrote 2 scenes on my script today, so
Okay.
although I don't know if they were very good, Phil's looking over them.
Oh.
I don't know. I just
Well,
got a weird vibe. I don't know. I'm doubting
so
myself.
no, this is the year you're on your upswing now. It's no
I
time to
am. I'm gonna crush it now. I mean, we played Dungeons and Dragons.
time to be time to be positive. Let's go back to Comic Con, which I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, it was
Comic Con
great.
2015. I had a great time. I love the room. I loved hanging out with you guys. I
Yeah,
love the panels. I love the breakfasts.
told you about that breakfast, man. Not
Right.
messing
Yeah.
around.
So, what were your highlights of Comic Con?
Mine.
Hmm.
Um, Mine would be meeting like all the wrestlers. That was awesome. And I met and then like the first like Thursday was awesome because like I met all these wrestlers, and then I was walking over to Indigo Ballroom, and I met Camille Nanjiani and Jonah Ray, and that was cool. Friday I met Spencer, and talking to Spencer from Harmontown, that was awesome. Kevin Smith's panel was a definite highlight. Our panel went awesome, and we got told that we had one of the highest attendances of a evening panel ever, so that was cool.
Including Hall H.
Not well, Hall H doesn't do panels after a certain time, so I don't think they counted that.
Okay.
One of the highest.
Okay.
Although I don't know how many people were at that DC television thing.
I don't know. A bunch of people left
Yeah.
after the Deadpool stuff. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, anyways, And what else was cool? Went to a bunch of cool panels. Got a shirt at Nintendo Lounge.
I got a shirt
Hanging,
at Nintendo Lounge.
yeah, hanging out with everybody is always good. Our
We should have had a day where we all wore our shirts. Well, I guess I left on Saturday, but
Benson, did I tell you this story? The day I wore my Cactus Jack shirt, Phil and I were walking outside the Hyatt, and Noelle Foley walked by us and said, "Nice shirt."
Oh, whoa. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
there's a lot of hype to that shirt. Well, let me tell
What
you
did
what it's
Derek
like.
call it? Cactus.
He called it Cracker
apple
Jack.
Cracker Jack.
Well,
Yeah, our Cracker
like,
Jack shirts.
Hey, wearing my Kevin Owens shirt got me a ticket to meet Kevin Owens, so I'm not
again,
gonna.
there's a lot of hype with Brendo's shirts, and that'll go into bunking with these knuckleheads.
And then
how
just
it
our
went.
room was fun. I had a lot of fun just sitting around, talking, drinking.
Well, first of all, Andrew's mom or Andrew's grandmother piped into one of Andrew's pictures recently of him at like some party. And I don't know if you saw this, but it was like, "Hope you're not drinking again, Drew. I'll talk to you about this the next time I see you." But she did add a ha ha. Maybe she was just teasing. You know how she is about teasing.
Yeah.
Teasing, teasing, teasing.
But I was like, that kid loves whiskey. I saw that guy put a bottle of whiskey into the fridge. Like an amateur, but it's still a bottle of whiskey.
He likes cold
Um,
whiskey.
I got to see everybody basically with their shirts off. Probably except
Yeah.
Benson.
Yeah, Benson's very protective.
But Benson wasn't without his little quirks that he woke us up at 7 in the morning, I think on Friday, serenading us in the
Shower.
shower.
We've never been exposed to the Benson shower singing.
Doing a little
Well-
shower singing, yeah.
There was a moment with everybody except Chris where I realized something about you guys, and then I had a moment where I realized that, and I asked about it, and I go, "Do you think if I asked this person to stop, would they do it?" And the answer was always no.
What
Like
was
when
mine?
when I asked, well, generally, when I was talking to Andrew about the singing in the shower, I'm like, "Do you think I could ask Benson to not sing at 7 in the morning in the shower?" And he's like, "Probably not." And I'm like, "Okay, now I know. I don't want to be told no to my face, so I'll just."
I mean, I would have stopped. I would have stopped if you had asked.
Okay, it was
Benson, you
weird.
keep on singing in the shower, dude. Don't
No,
let him tell you what to do.
no, you woke me up, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And it was songs that were like Nintendo menu songs, Japanese songs. They weren't even real songs.
Music, then there was just because the song is in Japanese does not mean it's not a real song, Derek.
But my first thought when I woke up was, Benson doesn't even like music. What is he singing?
Benson likes music.
And you were
That's weird
singing.
that you have perpetrated because I don't like top 40. I do like music, Derek.
Okay. Well, now I know.
Yeah.
And Andrew's thing was not sharing his bed with Chris, even though
Chris
the
was basically sleeping on the floor.
even though the
I think that was-
inflatable mattress I bought had a leak in it, since
Yeah.
fixed, but Benson decided Chris was sleeping on that after.
Oh, that's the other one was my air mattress.
Yeah. So
I think that decision was more in Chris's decision than Andrew's, to be honest.
well, I witnessed both of us asking Andrew if he would. No, well, what happened was we tried to get a rollout for Chris, and Chris called the hotel people and said, "Can we get a rollout?" And then I heard nothing on the other end because he was on the phone. He's like, "Oh, that makes sense," and he slammed the phone down. And I'm like, "What'd they say?" He's like, the couch pulls out into a bed," which Andrew refuses to share. And so there was that. And the only weird moment with Brendo was you were getting a little cranky on the night that we were walking everywhere, and then we were trying to find
I
Benson's...
looked at my pedometer. I walked 11.5 miles that day, so yeah. We were all, and it was really cold. I remember Andrew was like having like the shivers and like.
Well, it was like I was like, I'm gonna go with Matt and Andrew to look for their friend in Hall H line. You came with us, and then we kept seeing people in line, and we lost them, and we kept going deeper and deeper into a weird forest area.
Like we saw the worst part. We saw the dark underbelly of the Hall H line, and I was like, where the fuck are we? Like, what the fuck is going on here? They were
I
talking
don't
about
know.
there were cockroaches everywhere, and it was cold, and people were huddled, like, shaking, and I'm
I
like,
don't
what
know
the
if you
fuck is
guys had
this?
passed this, but there was a drunk woman screaming at her kids. They were like,
Oh
"Mom,
my
you stop
god.
drinking!" And she's like, "Listen, I took you old shits here.
I
I
bought
want
you
to have
all
a
this
drink.
stuff.
I want to
Let
have a
me have a
drink."
drink. It was horrible.
And and I lost you guys pretty early on, and Brendo was like, "Where are those guys?" I'm like, "They said Joe's Crab Shack," and they're like, "Are we eating here?" And I was like, "I don't know," and he's like, "I already ate here," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know what we're doing." You're like, "Well, thanks for letting every one of us know," and I'm like, "Oh no, we need to find."
It was just because
And
I
we,
was tired. It was cold. I was in a weird emotional state after Kevin's panel.
I
I had
know,
just like, Roush and I had like this emotional hug in the middle of the streets.
yeah.
It was
There was a
really
lot of emotions
weird.
going on, and then like I was like, "Well, you can walk back if you want to," and you're like, "I'm not going back alone." And I had you, and then we found a few other friends in line when we finally came back.
Well, then
To
your one friend like almost started a fight with
he almost started to
security.
fight with security because he's crazy, and we found James Noir, whose
Yeah,
movie we saw at Comic Con,
his
and
friend's girlfriend was
his
having
friend's
like a
girlfriend was
meltdown.
having a breakdown because of all the bugs, and he was like, "Baby, we need to see that Batman vs Superman trailer. Just hold on a little bit longer." And I'm like, "Man, I need to find a love like this." And we never we never found Andrew in that, but we told him to meet us back at Joe's Crab Shack. And when we were
Yeah.
there, Brendo was getting a little impatient. He's like, "Well, I'm sitting down then." And I was like, hoping I see your faces on the horizon, like, please get here soon. And then I was like calling Brenda. I gave him the lullaby. I was like, "What's up, big guy?" And you're like,
You're
"Oh, this," and I calmed him down. Pulled the lullaby.
I was just
Wow.
very, and it was weirdly cold too. Like it was like 60 degrees outside.
It was 75 as a high all day, so it was on the cool side.
Well, it was like late at night and it was cold, and like just being around that hall, like just that line gave me super bad vibes, like really bad
It was
vibes where I'm just
not
like, ugh.
contributing to your mood, but I didn't have to break out the Brendo Buster, so that was good.
The only
Am
other
I all?
time I was
If it
getting
gets like,
upset was
if well,
Friday
let
we
me
got
ask.
shut out of everything.
Well, let me ask you a question. If it gets really bad and you're like screaming, am I allowed to go, "Hey, cool it"?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
that'll be. It didn't get that bad. I just want to know. So I don't like yelling at people, and I don't think that would help. But if it helps, then I'll have the kryptonite
Let me
ring
tell you,
ready.
the one time Phil yelled at me, like I shut up so fast.
Okay.
And Phil has only yelled at me like once ever, and it was because I was having a Brendo freak out right when Phil was having like a crazy fight with Janelle. So Phil just turns around, and he's like, "Dude, you need to chill right now." And I was
All
like,
right.
"Ah!"
I'll only break that out when it gets really bad, but it's never gotten that bad.
And that was like once, and yeah, it was because Phil was just overloaded. He was like, "Too much happening right now. I can't yell at my wife, so I'm gonna yell at Brendo."
Um, but then when we're walking back, it was for some reason it was me. I think this was on Friday. It was me, you, and Andrew were walking back,
Yeah,
and
because
it
we
was
went
really
to Kansas
cold.
City barbecue because Benson already ate, and David,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
And as we were walking back to our car, the train was near and let out
Oh my God!
the biggest train horn
It was
that
like a super train.
we could feel vibrate through our chests. And everybody near, even in the cars, was like screaming, like, "What the fuck was that?" I thought it was gonna break
Like the
windows.
people in the car next to us yelled out, but then they were laughing at us because I was just like, "Fuck! Fuck!"
Um, and then when we come back in, Andrew displayed his last shred of masculinity as he attempted to turn off the air conditioner and bundle up in a bunch of like blankets and
Because we
stuff,
were all like
insisting that he was
frozen.
dying.
Very cold.
I didn't think it was that cold. I mean, this is a California native we're talking about.
I didn't think it was cold at all, but Andrew was like hardcore shivering. He seemed rattled by the train whistle. He bundled himself up in the bag, made us turn off the air conditioner. He was in
Friday
a
was definitely the
spot.
longest day, and Friday, if there was ever a day where I was like about to put Comic-Con on my Murtaugh list, like I'm
What's
getting too
the
old for
Murtaugh
this
list?
shit.
Well, that was the day I was like, maybe I'll skip next year.
Exactly. I think Friday was kind of that because we started like Wednesday was like the dream. Like Derek and I basically walked right into the registration line.
We
It
didn't wait
was
in any
we didn't
lines.
wait in anything. Everything we walked around the hall. We ran into everybody. Thursday was good, and like Friday was the first like bit of a challenge, I
Yeah,
think. And
Friday we started getting shit out of things, and Brendo said the convention center is a mile long. Like I
it's a
made it,
mile long.
we made a few zigzags trying to meet up with
We were
people,
trying to meet up with Phil and his brother. We met up with Jay, but again, that was like we were all over the place.
and then I tried to get into a panel, and Benson and Andrew saw me, but did not text me to get in line, and
We were waving and shouting your name.
that's when I kind of confirmed. I mean, I had headphones on probably.
You did
That's when I kind
not.
of
I remember
confirmed.
you did not.
Okay, I was probably wearing headphones. But Andrew, not you. I mean, maybe you got one more in your belt, but Andrew's kind of not my line guru when I mean, I like Andrew, but he's for getting bashed a lot here, and I have one more up my sleeve. But yeah, I've been in lines with Andrew where I'm like, oh, can I get in line with you? And he's like, nah, probably not. It's like, because he doesn't want to get kicked out of line, and that's him. That's his thing. And I have no problem with that, but I'm not going to be relying on Matt Benson or Andrew Lindy on lines anymore, which is fine. Now that I know that, I will.
Benson, did you go to the Rick and Morty thing then?
I did. Yeah, it was
Oh, was
awesome.
that awesome?
It was. It was so
Did you
great.
get to watch the new episode?
Not no new episode. They showed some new clips, but not a new episode.
I think the new episode aired now because Mario Flowers was tweeting about it. Did it
Well,
air?
it leaked. There was a big leak.
Oh, I don't know
So,
how
what
I
were
feel
your
about it. I don't
highlights,
wanna watch it.
Benson?
Rick and Morty panel was honestly one of them, especially because afterwards I actually got a chance to talk to Ryan Ridley, who writes for Rick and Morty and writes for Community. He did a bumper for Shut Up Leonard and was just super cool. That was awesome. I went to Kelly Sue DeConnick, who writes a lot of my favorite comics right now. Actually did a writers workshop that was really interesting. That
Yeah,
was
her thing in the program about how she writes her comic was really cool too.
yeah, that was really awesome. I went to the Spotlight on Chip Zdarsky panel, and then during that panel, Mark Waid, who just wrote an amazing run on Daredevil, came up and asked a question. He was one of the people in line asking the question at that panel. That was really cool to see.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, and I enjoyed it. There was a fun Brendo moment. This was kind of, discovering fun little things. Where in the morning, I had put on my Cactus Jack t-shirt, and then Brendo comes out of the shower in a towel, and he just
Oh
looks at
yeah,
me,
Jesus.
and he says, "Oh,
I remember.
I guess I can't wear mine today."
Well, there was a
That was
lot of
a
hype
lot
between
of
what
fun.
shirts you guys were wearing between Andrew and Brendo, because I remember Brendo put on his Kevin Owens shirt. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm just wearing my Kevin Owens shirt." I'm like, nobody's stopping you. And then you're like, "I'm wearing it. It's cool." And it got you things, as you say. But there was much talk about Brendo's wrestling shirts.
Yeah.
And then the next, that was the day you were wearing your Cactus Jack, or whatever.
What day? What?
Benson.
Oh yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, at one point we went into the elevator to eat breakfast, and you were wearing it already, so maybe it was from the day before. And a lady went up to Benson and said, or what did she do? She
She
went
did the
bang
bang
bang,
bang. Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
thought was sexual in nature, not knowing what the hell any of this is all about. And then I was like, hey man, and she was at breakfast. I'm like, go over there. You got your in wrestling chick. And
She
then
was
we
like
had
at breakfast with her daughter. I should
no,
remind you.
she was
I
alone
said
for a
that.
long period of time.
Yeah, but she was at breakfast with her daughter.
Yeah,
Could
meet
be
your
single.
meet her new
Single women have
meet her new
children.
dad.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh Jesus.
Daddy Benson.
Yeah.
Which led us into a discussion if Benson wants a woman that likes wrestling, or if we all want. I mean, Andrew Lindy is taken, but somehow. But we had a discussion about if we want nerdy girls at Comic Con. I think at that point Brendo showed up. I mean, I remember it very well, so I'm not going to get too into the details, but that's what it was like with the boys.
It was a good time. I had a good time, and
I met
And-
Chris. I liked Chris.
Yeah.
yeah, Chris was awesome. I
Chris is
just
great.
watched I just watched his new sketch. It's like a Tim and Eric tribute. It was really funny.
I looked at
Chicken.
his Twitter. He seems to be angry at women, but that's fine.
I don't, I don't think that's the case, but
Like I said, he is my favorite James Franco character. Or, and I don't know if I told you this to you guys, he's like Daniel Desario when he was Carlos the Dwarf. He was cool guy in nerd mode.
yeah.
And I didn't understand. It was interesting to hear his Comic-Con zigging and zagging. There was a lot of napping. I ran into him napping.
Chris is
Yeah.
super chill at cons, but cool shit always happens to him.
Yeah, he's always just chilling in the corner, meeting people, just wandering around.
Just hanging out with Will Forte, no big.
Yeah. And he had to leave early, I heard.
Yeah, he left Saturday night right after you did because his ride was leaving. Either that or he didn't want to share the bed with me. I mean, I don't know.
I think
Well, the way you said it was funny. Like, you can share the bed with me. If you can sleep in there, but no, I'll be coming in pretty late at night.
Well, because I just wanted him to be aware that, like,
I'm pretty
when
sure
I
you're
did-
wearing just a towel as you said that too.
I never had just a towel on. I always, at the very least, had boxers on around you guys. I'm not that inconsiderate.
Okay, not inconsiderate, just mellow, loose. You tell
Well,
us how it's gonna go.
No, it was just a situation where, because Phil and I got a last minute invite to Hollywood Babylon, so Phil and I went. It didn't start until 1 in the morning, so I got back to the hotel at like 3:30, and then I almost tripped over Benson, that would have been real bad. That would have been so
You
bad.
almost Big Van Dyke over at Benson.
Yeah. Well, because I couldn't see and I didn't want to turn the light on, so I'm just kind of like kind of feeling my way.
Comic-Con tradition is you stumbling through the dark while we listen. Because I woke up for that. I remember, I can't remember which, it was either last year or the year before. It had to have been a few years ago because it was the other time Chris was there, where you came in the middle of the night, you started blowing up your air mattress, and it was
That
louder.
was super loud.
we just heard like, and then it stopped, and then we heard you go, "Fuck!" and then you was blowing up the air mattress again.
Well, what did you do? Do you remember? Why did you say fuck?
Well, because I knew it was loud and I woke everybody up. Because I felt really bad because everybody was asleep or about to fall asleep.
But you gave us a hilarious, beautiful memory, Brendo. It was well worth the trade.
Because I had forgotten to blow up my air mattress before we went out for the, because it was on Wednesday. I got there and I immediately put my stuff and then took off, and I forgot. I'm like, I should blow up my air mattress beforehand, but then I didn't.
All my dreading being in a room with 5 guys for 4 days was all for naught. It was completely comfortable experience.
It's a big room, so
shower schedules went off without a hitch. There's no trouble there. I did try to go. Did went on Thursday. I was gonna go to our room to enjoy a nice mid Comic-Con deuce, and saw that the room wasn't made up yet. And as I was in the bathroom, the maid was knocking, and I'm like, oh, of course. And I didn't answer, and so she came in and started cleaning while I was in there, and I had to pop out and scare the fuck out of her. And I was like, when are you gonna be done? And that was a bridge too far for our Spanish speaking maid.
So I gotta put up the little no disturb thing.
Well, I was ready. I was shooting for bear. I was ready to go. So I hung out in the lobby, and then when I came back up, Chris was there. So we shared a little nap time together in different rooms. Did you guys ever do the midday rest in the room? Or
I used to. Now I don't because it messes me up. Because I don't do midday naps anymore that much. Period. Just because it messes up my patterns and stuff. I did go back to drop stuff off a couple times, which is always nice having that.
Yeah, I did the drop off.
Because because Lindy said he went to like every happy hour. I only went to the first one.
Oh, yeah? I only went to the first one.
Because that's a bit of a hike back, and then like I'm always doing stuff, I guess.
It's prime time too.
Yeah, but it is a
Lindy's kind of a
nice.
loner, right? He went over alone. He's drinking alone at the
I
Comic
think
Con bar.
I think he only went to one of them alone, and he was talking. He met people there.
Yeah,
Because
I don't
I
think
went to him with a few of them.
Mm.
it was. I would have gone to more. It's just I'm always there's always doing stuff because like there's just things are just go go go, man. I might. I mean I don't know later. Probably in the coming years there might be a point where I'm gonna want to do that because again Friday I could have used it. I probably should have taken a minute, but it was kind of just go 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 because like I was trying to do stuff and then met up with Phil, met up with Jay. Then it was time for Kevin's panel, so it was just kind of go go go. But that open that like 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock happy open bar thing at the Embassy Suites is pretty awesome, and they had Comic Con themed drinks. It was great. I had an Iron
Second
Man.
year, second year in a row of me facilitating a nice Muse thing.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, I mean you didn't do as much as you did last year,
Well, all right. You're welcome.
but thank you. I mean we would have figured it out eventually.
I didn't sleep the first night. I don't know why, maybe with my surroundings.
But you
But I,
did. You just don't think you did.
but yeah, I just didn't feel like it. So I drank coffee every morning, and I think I like coffee now.
Yeah,
I
me
like.
too. I almost bought a coffee maker the other day.
Well, now you're in the black here, so.
Yeah, but my problem is, what do you do with a whole pot of coffee? Because like, I'm not gonna drink
They
a
are
whole
those
pot of coffee.
those
Those
single
Keurigs
shot
are
machines.
expensive, and I've heard
All
they're
right.
like bad for
Uh,
the environment and shit.
all right. I didn't know. I guess I'm not that much of a coffee expert, but our breakfasts were huge,
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
and I saw the lighter side of Matt Benson. Every day he went and got breakfast for Chris, who didn't have the wristband because we can only put so many people on names on the room, and he brought him one of everything every time.
It's a good friend.
Gotta look out for my friend.
That's how you do it, Derek.
One of the day, oh, I was ready to do it. You were the one that you're the one that said I ain't doing.
Well, I'm not talking about that specifically, but that's like friendship.
Okay.
I'm just giving you a hard time. It's about sometimes I gotta mix it up.
On the second day is the day I tried the Chris thing, and I tried everything, and it was great. And with the snacks, I think our game is on point with the snacks. I was never
Telling you.
hungry.
Yes, exactly. It's
We gotta
great.
figure it out, man.
And we got that whole scene on fucking lockdown. It's awesome, right? It's fucking awesome.
And then on Saturday, we were just chilling. We lost a few panels, but we were hanging on I got to see the free lemonade room for the first time,
Yep.
which is fancy. There's like bow-tied waiters taking things and charging stations. And I'm just gonna bring my power bar in my backpack next year because
Well, you
then
had a friendly Aquaman that helped you out.
yeah, and I took his outlet thing with the multiple
Well,
outlets.
that's the reason why he put it there instead of
But
just
I didn't,
taking up
I
an
didn't know
outlet.
that. And when he showed up, I was like, I think we're gonna have to do battle with Aquaman if this guy doesn't like what we're doing.
But no, friendly Aquaman instead of just taking up an outlet, got a 3 outlet bar, plugged it into the outlet, then plugged his thing in so 2 other people could
Because
use
if I
the
have
outlet.
a power bar, any outlet is mine. Because I can just go, oh, let me put in this, and
Yeah.
then we can all have it.
Well, that's kind of what he did too. And then
Yeah.
he plugged your thing back in when he took his thing away. Like he was super cool.
And then I got a text about a super secret way to get into Hall H, and I got in just in time for some Joss Whedon and X-Men and Deadpool.
Oh, I can't wait to
panels.
do that next year. I'm
It
totally
was
doing
the
that.
first. It was the first time I got to be in Hall H for a big panel.
Yeah, how did that feel?
It was good.
You
That's
felt
what made
the
me want to.
power.
That was that thing. Every Comic-Con, the thing that makes you want to come back the
Remember
next
that
year.
time you made fun of me when I was like when Kevin was asking me what I like so much, and I'm like, everybody was up there and it was crazy. And you're like, what are you talking about?
I know,
Now
but I
you
never.
know.
Right. I saw the inside of your mind for an hour or two. The rush. I mean, I'm not a big Deadpool fan, but the rush of it with everybody else and everybody coming out. I mean, it was very exciting.
That trailer was incredible.
Um,
But the
I'm not
real
gonna. We're not,
My,
as Brendo shouted to everybody, we're not going to say how I got into Hall H.
we're not gonna no.
But let me ask you. You were very excited to try it out next year, and I
Yes.
ask you, Brendo, the way it goes, do you think you have the
Yes.
suave to do it?
Absolutely.
The
I can be
Genevieve?
suave when I need to be, Eric.
I'm
Okay.
very curious about this. I didn't hear anything about this when it
But we'll
happened.
talk about it. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it afterwards. But yeah. I don't know how foolproof it is, but let me put it to you this way.
I think it's foolproof, you guys. Like I seriously do.
But it depends on the well, we can't go into specifics without spoiling what it is. But I'll let you know this much. My friend texted me while I was in the lemonade room. He's like, I found a way for you to get into Hall H. Come down in 5 minutes and meet me out front. And without his help,
You got
I
in
still got in.
using the method.
I was whisked in. I was literally escorted in by
And
security.
you're not being, and it's a non-douche move because you're not taking anybody's spot that should be there.
I've asked several people who did wait all night in line for a ticket how they felt about me just coming in, and they said they didn't care.
I think this, because like that wristband system, I don't think they're
Which
going
we
to do it.
saw firsthand and how
It's
rowdy people get
fucking
about it.
crazy. And I don't know. I just feel like because everyone's like, oh, like people shouldn't pirate footage and put it on because people waited overnight. And now that I've seen the horrific shit that people have to go through, nobody should have to do that. So put all the footage out there so people don't have to feel like they have to go through that horrific shit to see all this stuff. So let the footage out. Let it all fucking out because this needs to stop. Because I felt like we needed to get the fucking Human Rights Coalition out there. Because like
It was the first time I saw that line, and it was the first time I saw the wristbands getting put out. And when we talked to that girl the next day, she was fine. She was like, "Oh yeah, the footage was great." Like the last time I saw you, you were sobbing in the dirt. You were like a refugee.
It wasn't
So I don't know how good that footage must have been to. I mean, we saw her. She was literally. We had to leave and go. Well, see you, goodbye. And she was literally out of control. We saw a lot this year. I saw a lot of new territory this year.
Then Phil and I mean, I've talked about this in great length on Radio Brendo Man, but after Hollywood Babylon, Phil was too scared to take an Uber.
Tell us about that. You told me a little about that the other day.
We walked. So you know how the gas lamp during Comic-Con is like this safe place, and it's all awesome, and there's all kinds of just wonderful nerds walking around. Even when they're drunk, it's still fun. Nerd
Lego
drunk.
restaurants and.
Oh yeah, it's just wonderful.
Gallery.
Well, Saturday night, all that shit is getting torn down, and there's 4 days worth of trash. And we discovered that.
What time of night was it?
This was at like 2:33 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
It was nothing but tough boys, and it was terrifying. Phil and I got accosted the minute we walked out of House of Blues. It was like they were waiting for us. And they're like, you guys keep on walking, keep on walking. We're like, holy shit. And then
what was Phil's reaction?
Phil was terrified. Okay, just to preface all this, you have to remember, Phil and I were jumped by tough boys in college. And
Imagine
by tough boy for me is like a step above a bro, like a bro with true
They're
ill will.
They're ready to go.
These people are ready to fight. And as somebody did bring this up on the Radio Brendo Man comments because they thought we were basically using it as a euphemism for a certain race, and no, absolutely not.
These are notoriously white people.
All races, and the worst
white.
are white people. The people that jumped Phil and I, white people. The worst of the tough boys we saw during this Comic-Con excursion, white dudes. So not.
That Louis episode where they go to the donut shop and he's on a date?
Yeah.
Like that guy.
That guy.
Bruised knuckles.
So we're walking.
But think of it. Let me interject for a second. Think if you asked Janelle and the kids to like pick you up from there, and they're in the middle of all that.
Oh God, that would have been a freaking nightmare, dude.
Do you think Phil would have like given up his family for a safe passage?
No, because Phil has proven that in moments of crisis involving Janelle or his kids, he will fight. Because one time at I think I've told this story before, at Six Flags, some dude like shoved Janelle, like some gangster dude, and Phil on reflex he had like a full lemonade. He just dumped it right in the guy's face. Like that was his initial reaction to that. And I've seen him get up in people's faces that do shit like yell at his kids and stuff. Like
What was the aftermath of him throwing a full
he
lemonade in a?
immediately was like, "Oh shit!" and and the guys got all up in his face. But then they called security, and security kind of escorted Phil and Janelle when they got off the ride because the dudes were waiting for him,
Oh my
and so
God.
security got involved.
That's why I don't go to Six Flags. It's full of gang members.
Six Flags is, but
Full
they
of
don't have
gang
guns
members.
because there's metal detectors. So
I know, but it's full of gang members. They're
It is
jackbooted thugs. They still have their jack boots.
Well, I mean, I remember there was a period in the '90s where it was really bad because they were actually like marking their turf, like different parts of the.
We have
like,
Gotham City.
Well, that's why the metal detectors came into play.
They have a
because-
new area I saw in the commercials. It's like a steampunk area. It's called like an emo steampunk area, neon emo.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there like an attraction involved with that, or
There's
is
like
it
a
just-
show, like a Cirque du Soleil show, but not
Oh,
Cirque du
okay.
Soleil.
That's weird.
Anyway, go on. So
Anyway,
you come out.
we come out. We immediately are getting yelled at by these dudes, and also on the same area, there's this girl that's just puking her ever living guts out, and that's disgusting. To the point where Phil was so rattled by the tough boys and the puking that he almost walked into moving traffic, and I had to grab him. And be like, dude, come on, get it together. We then saw these other dudes haggling with a prostitute.
Is she hot?
She did look pretty hot. But they were like, that's too much. We just heard this dude start yelling, that's too much money. That's too much money. And I was like, oh shit. Then these dudes, these other tough boys, got in us.
I just imagine like Phil accidentally bumping in the glass and angering a bunch of drunks and him going, "Oh, sorry, it wasn't a deposit bottle," like chunk and like wiggling his fingers. Like, I find him you guys very chunk-like, while people are just like being horrible all around you.
We're like on edge, and we're like, because like we're like, all I'm thinking is like, is shit going down? Because again, we had two guys. This basically what happened was a bunch of it was like me, Phil, two other friends in college. They came up. We were walking in opposite directions. When we intersected, they're like, "Hey, can you guys?" They just said something, and then we're like, and then they kept going, and then they did the double back and came up alongside us, and then just started punching, and that was terrifying. So anyway, again, so then we
What
saw
else did you see?
There were some dancing tough boys that were like dancing to the beat of whatever music's coming out of the clubs, and one of them got
Was it
right
like
up.
in Batman Forever when those neon
Kind
punks
of.
were,
It was
were
like
yelling
Phil
at
and
them?
I actually made that joke, and
And
then
the
one of them
Batmobile could have pulled up.
got right up in Phil's face, and I seriously thought like I'm like, Phil's gonna get punched right now. But it turned out he was just way into them. Because again, it's drunk tough boys, and there is nothing more terrifying than drunk tough boys because they're completely unpredictable.
If he did get punched, would you fight back or would you make a run for it?
Well, when we got jumped, Phil and I both immediately ran into the street.
Okay,
So-
but what if one of you?
instincts-
What if one of
If
you?
I
was
saw
really
Phil
hit?
get punched, I'd like to think that I would jump in there.
Okay. But what was
But-
the best thing that you saw? Because
Okay,
I'm thinking of one
So
particular
we saw
thing.
drunk tough boys. There was some dude that because I was wearing a Cactus Jack shirt,
Uh-oh.
started
See, I
being
told
like-
you that.
he was like doing all these. It's like, which one of these guys do you think was tougher, Mankind, Mick Phil? And Phil had no idea what he was talking about, so Phil was really freaked out. And I basically wrestling whispered the dude. I'm like, oh, definitely Cactus Jack because of the
They went up to
exploding
Phil
death
and
match. And
Oh, you like Newman? Oh, you like
yeah,
Kramer?
but and then the craziest thing that we saw was we were walking by the Chuck Jones gallery, and
Which
it was
is
like
awesome, by the way.
and it was
It
they were
has
having
original Chuck Jones. If you don't know what it is, it's an art gallery, but at Comic-Con it features, comic book art, but it has a lot of original Chuck Jones
Yeah.
drawings.
But I
there.
think the big thing they were doing during this Comic-Con was there was a bunch of Alex Ross stuff.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that over the years.
These are like $10,000 Alex Ross original
real
paintings
paintings. Yeah.
and shit. And so there's these. It's like the end of a big rich drunk party because we see all these richy-looking people with fancy dressed, and they're like singing karaoke. They're just like taking swigs out of bottles, And we're just like, whoa, that's fucked up. And then this woman grabs a painting off the wall and they all start stepping on it. It was like the fucking end of The Shining. It was like The Shining, like we're like, what the fuck? To the point where Phil and I we had walked past and we actually went back because we're like, did that just happen? And sure enough, they were stomping on the painting.
That was sacrilege. That's
You're
like
like,
when you
what
go to
the
Phil, we're
fuck?
pilgrims in an unholy land, because it's
Yeah.
Comic Con and that's happening.
And
And then because you're nerds, you have to reference that was from Last Crusade.
And then immediately after that, we saw the scariest Tough Boys because I think these were the only legitimate Tough Boys that we encountered.
Where were you walking to? The hotel?
Yes, but
Which
this
is
was like we were on 4th Street, like the major area of the gas lamp. But I'm telling you, after 2:30, like it's total fucking chaos. And there's also just all this trash because it's like 4 days worth of trash piled up everywhere. We saw rats, like. It's fucking nuts, dude.
Because I also told Phil when he was talking to me, like, if you didn't jump into a cab, it would be like Home Alone 2. And then, like, a crusty gentleman would be like, no,
Yeah.
not good enough in here, kid.
So the two legitimate Tough Boys, they were wearing, like, kind of camouflage,
Uh-oh.
and they had big mag lights that they were shining into storefronts. I think they were, like, scoping things out. And then, like, they mad dogged us, and I was like, if it's going to happen, it's happening now. And Phil and I just made ourselves look really big and really tough.
You got on top of each other?
And I think the thing, because like Phil and I talked about it, we're like, I think the only thing that saved us was, like, I'm 6'4", and I'm a big dude, but, like, I think they can tell that I'm not what I appear to be. So.
And you wanted to be a bouncer because you said all you could do is shave your head and you look tough. And I guess it worked.
We could look tough, but the moment shit goes down, like,
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were
and
saying. We're tough.
even when you get out of that area, like we said before, there's still a mile before we get mile and change before you get to the
on
hotel.
the other side of the convention center, like across the street, and that's the shady walk of homeless people. So that was fun. And that's where all, like, there was, like, there was a porta potty, and I tried to get Phil to, like, sit in it because I'm like,
you were in no hurry to get home then.
well, I was just like, how much money would it cost for you to use that porta potty? And he was like, no money.
Had fun.
We still had fun, but it was kind of terrifying. We were making wide berths of all, like, tight corners where people could be hiding.
Because I remember several walks with you and me where it was like The Last of Us trying to get to our car in the middle of San Diego, miles away from the convention center.
This one, man. This was the ultimate of that.
But us, it was like quiet, nobody around, empty cityscape.
Yeah. This was way worse, though, because it was like just, again, like Tough Boys on a rampage, trash, rats, it was like a freaking apocalypse wasteland.
Are you sure you didn't just walk through some Walking Dead
some
walk
experience? That's what we were like. You don't need any of that. This walk was a maze at Universal. Like, I swear to God.
Yeah, I think this was my favorite Comic-Con so far.
I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. So much.
I wish I
cool
enjoyed it
shit
more in
happened.
the moment, because I get to a point whenever I'm anywhere, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get home. But now and then I kept thinking about it for like a week. Can't wait for the next one.
I'm pumped. I'm already super pumped.
Can you imagine if we went a week later and it was all humid and hot?
Yep.
Like it was when we got home. Oh my God.
I've been at those years when it's all humid and hot. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like I remember getting like last year, just in the time I waited in line to get our pro badge, and I was just all sweaty, and then Jonathan London came up to me and shook my hand, and then he was all gross, and he's like, "Oh, why did you do that?" It was just in the time that I was just standing there, it got all gross.
I was talking with you and Phil and your friend Alex, was his name?
Yes, Alex.
And you guys got into your fat conversations where you talk about what you guys do with fat
all the
shirts.
different fat tricks and
What you do when you're sweaty, and so that was like being like, I said this about us staying in the room. I felt like Diane Fossey. And it was just observing your kind. Because I did get to see all of your gussing up rituals. It was interesting. It was like being in a zoo.
The one thing that I was perturbed about at Comic Con was even though I put on sunscreen multiple times a day, I still managed to get sunburned.
You were screaming about that. All of it came. I heard you scream about that too. Yeah, it was
Friday,
fun though.
I think Friday, the thing that really put a damper on things was standing in that Indigo Ballroom line for an hour, and there's no shade. It's hot as fuck,
Oh, I
and
didn't
like
do
the
that.
sun. Well, me and Phil and his brother did that because the guy had told us it looked like we were gonna get in, and he was totally full of shit.
Mm.
I don't know why I always fall for that. Because
I
we were
always see the
nowhere
most
near getting in.
celebrities in that Hilton because I
Yeah.
saw Sergeant Slaughter and I knew it was him because he had a WWE polo shirt
Which I
and
think he's
a
contractually obligated to wear.
and a camouflage blazer, like a blazer, like a normal blazer, but it was
Well, because he's
camouflage.
Sergeant Slaughter. I mean,
And
that's
of
his
course
thing.
his sergeant hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw him. We saw a bunch.
He's an
I saw.
actual GI Joe, a walking, talking GI Joe member.
Yes,
That's
that's why he's so
Yeah.
awesome. And
Did he
and
get
then
effects?
and in the WWE universe, yes, he became an Iraqi sympathizer.
Oh my God,
And
that's weird. That's a weird thing to do, right?
they thought it was going to be a big draw, and it really wasn't. And then,
Wouldn't that hurt your career if you did that now? Think
well,
about
it was towards
if a
the
wrestler
end.
was like, "I'm on ISIS now."
Yeah, it would. It was definitely of its time, but even then, it didn't really work because they originally were going to be in the forum, I think, for WrestleMania, and they ended up only selling like a third of the tickets. So then they moved it to the sports arena, and under the guise of, there were too many death threats against Sergeant Slaughter, so we had to move it to this much smaller arena.
Mm.
And the real reason was because it didn't sell tickets. Um, but anyways, so yeah, we saw Kevin out there, and
Can I talk
yes,
about
you
that
could tell
moment
the
now?
story. Tell the
That was
story.
my one of my favorite moments. It was that so we saw Kevin across the street with all the paparazzi guys, and he was talking to fans, and Brendo goes, "Oh, we should go over there." I'm like, "No, I mean there's a big line of
Well, I
people."
was gonna go talk to because Livy was driving the car, and she's
Yeah,
the one
we
that got us.
noticed there are people in the car, and his daughter was in the back seat of the car. He's like, I should go talk to her. And then you mentioned, well, I've never met her, but I've emailed with her. I'm like, huh.
Well, I know Harley.
I'm like, that's a toss up, a big,
Harley has come up to me at Comic Con, so I don't think it would be that weird.
right. Well, Benson left. He's got
Benson
to hear
left,
that.
and the audio quality immediately
I
improved.
know. I don't know what that says, but I'll hold off on that. Hold on. Well, I'll say that I made us do this late so I could go see Southpaw.
Oh yeah, how was it?
Oh, not good.
Did
Unfortunately,
it?
it's not
How
good.
was the score? Because that's one of James Horner's
I
last
mean,
scores.
with all due respect to the dead, James Horner's
His scores
scores,
are very similar.
yeah. So I didn't really notice anything. But he
But
had
Jake Gyllenhaal, no good. No, it looked good.
everybody was good in it, but the
To be
script is terrible.
okay, here's the thing. I didn't even know this movie existed until they mentioned it on Monday Night Raw yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I
So
was. When you talked about the wrestling, I was thought it was very wrestling esque. But I don't think I like Kurt Sutter.
I can't get into Sons of Anarchy. Is that weird?
He's no good. No, I don't know. I've never seen it. Anyway, I was waiting for you,
Oh
Benson,
yeah,
to finish
Benson, you're
telling the
back.
story.
So Derek was telling the story. Go ahead.
Are you back?
Yes,
Benson?
I am back.
Okay.
Okay. So you, as you were saying, you know Harley. So Kevin Smith's daughter is in the back of his car,
On her
and
phone, looking a little perturbed.
right, and I'm like, I mean, like, you have to see it through my
Yeah.
lens, Brendo. This big nerd guy rushing the car. It's not gonna look good. And so, with you having that in mind, you turn to the security lady that was
No,
standing
she
next.
asked us, "Are you guys trying to get across the street?"
Oh, because she was gonna stop us if we were.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh no, could we go over there? I know them. And then she went, no, like, but like you know them, but you could be saying anything.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if like you were gonna go no, but you relented and you kept your distance.
And then we met Spencer, so it was all good.
And then we turned around, and we met Spencer from
And he was
Harmontown.
super nice, like so nice.
I noticed. Remember in the documentary, he talks about how meeting all these people has really made him come out of his shell. In the way I look at sociopaths or depressives that fake being nice. Like he's really good at it now. Not saying that he's one of those people, but it doesn't look fake. It's not like he said, "I wear a fake smile," but it seemed very genuine.
Well, because I wanted to meet him because his story is very similar to my story, and I
Right? You
just
told
wanted to
him
share
the story.
that with him. And I told him my story, and he was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And we talked a little. He shared some D&D tips with me.
Did he?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, I was asking him like what system he uses and how does he, because his improv skills, like I only wish like when he's doing D&D with those guys on Harmontown, like it's almost you can tell it's almost all improv and it's so good. And I asked him like, what's your secret? And he was telling me he always keeps at least 3 or 4 scenarios in his back pocket at
Well,
all
that
times.
segues nicely into what we did. Can I really quickly say what happened when you had said it already? After coming out of Hall H, you went and hugged Roush, who was like coming out of the car. But like Chris was with you, and he's like he didn't know what was happening, and he thought you were just rushing Kevin's car.
It wasn't Kevin's car. It was Roush was walking with
Oh, okay.
with like Jen and Harley and Livy and somebody else. I think it
'Cause I
was
saw that you had stopped, and then Chris came up to us. He's like, "Brendo's doing something. I don't know what's happening." And we decided to move on.
they were going because Kevin had to take off right away because they did a Jay and Bob. So I think they were headed in that direction. And
hmm
so Roush saw me and he's like we have to go, but Harley and Jen waved at me and then Roush ran into the street and gave me a big hug.
There you go.
And that
Um,
was my story about that.
but that segues nicely into our playing Dungeons and Dragons this weekend because
Yes,
we ran into Jay, and he was like, "We need to play," and then we got that shit done. Now, did we invite Benson?
I invited Benson
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't want
because
Benson to
I
feel
have
left
a
out.
purpose for Benson.
Oh yeah, you told me afterwards that Benson's probably going to come in, and
Yes,
on a guest starring basis.
for
But I didn't
whenever
want
he
Benson to
can.
feel left out.
Because Benson's schedule is what it is,
Yeah,
I've designed a way for him to come and go if he wants to.
yeah. Brendo
I,
as Dungeon Master is really funny because sometimes
I felt a little rusty. Did I do okay?
you were better than ever.
Okay,
Because at the beginning, it was your first time, so it would be slow, but I felt we got a good pace going.
it's good to hear.
But every time something happened, you could tell something was up because Brendo gets all excited about it. So like, oh, something's gonna happen.
Yeah, we had fun,
So
and Phil was a good addition to the team, and
we found Phil in the game world. We were because it's been 3 years since we played. And one of Jay's friends took over for Tudgate, so it's like I guess I said his name. I can't say what I think of him. But he used to yell at me while we played. He
yeah.
used to, like, if I was like reading a comic book, he's like, "It's your turn. You're always reading that comic book." So he's replaced. Oh, we almost got a peek at Benson Manor there.
a little bit.
Uh,
Well, I think you saw a snippet of the Inherent Vice poster.
oh my god. um.
Yeah,
So
so
in the game, we were frozen in time for 3 years, and we come back, and we found Phil's character being taken
and Derek
hostage.
wanted to murder him.
Well, that's not true. We saved him, and I just wanted to haze him for secrets. But we voted to join. He's joined us officially in the game, and that's where we'll continue next time. Because how many players did we have? 8, 6.
6.
I mean, it takes a long time, and there's a lot of characters that we were fighting, so it takes a long time to get a turn because every character has to roll and stuff. It was fun. I felt I had a better handle on it than I ever had.
Well, you're the
Using
veteran now.
using my encounter powers and my daily powers, and it's fun. Think I killed the most people.
You killed a lot of people.
Yep.
You did a good job.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was fun seeing those guys again. And so I guess we can segue in from that Inherent Vice. But are you a big Joaquin Phoenix fan now?
I would say so. Yeah, budding Joaquin Phoenix fan.
Does that mean what does that mean?
I mean, I still haven't seen like all of his movies, but
But have you
Have you
been
I
catching
watched?
up?
Have you watched the one of like the documentary thing that's like?
I have, yeah. I'm still
That
here.
What
seems
are
like
your
a
thoughts on that? Because
that
for
seems
me,
like a
that was
Benson thing. That seems like a Benson.
that
I
was
liked
where
it a whole
Joaquin
lot.
Phoenix like lost me.
Oh, I was fully on board when I watched that recently.
Well, you knew it was fake at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew it was fake the whole time. I mean,
I
you
know it
watch
was
that
fake the whole
first.
time, and it still was like, what the fuck is this dumb shit?
Yeah.
Because it was inspiring stupid hipsters everywhere to do stupid performance art shit.
But isn't like it like wrestling? It was like being a character and
I guess, but he just did it in such a douchey way. Just such a douche about it. And also the fact that, again, I think my biggest problem was it inspired all these other fucking douche wannabes. And
Well,
nobody,
I mean, there's a bunch of shitty fake
I know
Tarantino
one.
movies. You don't blame Tarantino
I
for
don't
that.
know, it just
I know
really
one
rubbed
thing
me
that
the wrong
Joaquin
way.
Phoenix did that inspired a bunch of douche wannabes.
It's oh, I see what you're saying. It's good. It's good. It's a good bit.
So what have you seen, or have you not felt the need to go into the back catalog?
Uh, I mean, I feel the need, but I'm kind of, I like to savor it. I like to go slow. I like to still have stuff in
Space
front of me.
Camp? Because Space Camp's
It's
awesome.
been half a year.
I have not seen Space Camp.
You should watch
Uh,
Space Camp.
Because if you're inspired to look like the person, I imagine that.
well, it's
Parenthood?
it's more
Parenthood's awesome.
to look like Doc Sportello.
I know which is him. Let's not get into. Let's not
It's a
do.
character.
Let's not do this.
I think I
Well,
like young Joaquin Phoenix better than old Joaquin Phoenix.
I'm all
his
that
911 phone call is on YouTube. You listen to that?
old.
No.
I think I did actually when it first was, you know, like I didn't listen to it recently, but I
No, the
have
one
listened
from
to it.
1993 where River Phoenix was dying on the sidewalk and he ran to a payphone and called the
Why would I want to
police.
listen to that? That's
I'm
fucked
just
up.
saying it's out there.
Yeah,
As a Joaquin Phoenix, or do you call him
I do
Rain because that was
remember
his original name?
his original name was actually Joaquin. Then
No, it
he
was
went
Leaf,
to then
right?
he
Yeah, it
went
wasn't.
he was born Joaquin. Then he changed it to Leaf because he was jealous of his sibling's name, and then he changed it back to Joaquin.
Oh, that's dumb.
Don't all his siblings have really weird names?
Yes, and that
Well,
he
there's
was
Rain.
jealous, so he adopted Leaf.
Okay.
He's
Joaquin
credited
isn't
in
weird
Parenthood.
enough.
Apparently not.
I mean, I've listened. I've gone through the whole 48 hours. You know that special, the last 48 hours on the death of people. I've seen that whole thing on. I know everything about River Phoenix's death and John Belushi's death.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That is sad. Somebody snuck into River Phoenix's like wake and took a picture, and it was all over the British tabloids. His
Yeah,
dead
I
body.
remember that whole
And
thing. That was a fucking.
it's weird because
Yeesh.
it's a
People
dead
wrote
body.
songs about that,
They wrote songs about the picture.
like just about that whole incident. Natalie Merchant has a song that's basically telling like we lost River Phoenix. You guys are all assholes. Like
Well, what did they do? He didn't do anything. He's the one that took the
the
speedball.
people that and like people like I don't know, just the way his death was handled. People
They
were
both
very upset.
died by a speedball overdose. And
Oh,
both
you know
on the
the
same,
list of speedball deaths is crazy. There's a
but like
Wikipedia
on the
article.
same like block because they
Yeah.
both were doing it in the bathroom.
Speedballs are a very bad idea, drug kids.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Do people still do those?
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ! Do you know what that is, Benson?
It's heroin and cocaine?
Yeah, very good. See, he's street smart.
Thank you.
But the weird thing
Killed
about
Kristen Ritter in Breaking Bad.
the weird
That's
thing,
true.
I thought you were gonna do
Well,
breaking
she had
news.
some help.
Yeah.
Oh,
but-
you're spoiling things.
But that's how
I
you
didn't-
die. That is exactly how you die doing speedball.
Yeah.
That's exactly how you die.
What was I about to say? I forgot what I was gonna say.
Speedballs.
Said
Speedball's
Kristen
John
Ritter, and
Belushi.
got all worried about Kristen Ritter. You
No.
said breaking. I thought you were gonna say breaking news.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to scare you like that, Derek.
Um,
Kristen Ritter, very much alive, very much fabulous.
mhm.
Working on
What was I
Jessica
gonna
Jones.
say?
Oh, I can't wait for that fucking show. Netflix they're so secretive about the Netflix Marvel stuff. Like there wasn't any presence at Comic-Con about anything. Well, they're shooting Daredevil right now.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, the weird thing about the River Phoenix death photo is that they buried him in like a Guns N' Roses t-shirt and like jeans. It wasn't like
mhm.
a suit, and just seeing a
Huh.
dead body look like a normal kid is like weird.
Huh.
Pretty fucked up, yeah.
I don't know. I don't I need to see those photos. Like I'm very morbid about like death.
Yeah.
Like I've seen the Chris Farley photos and those are terrible.
I remember like a week after Michael Jackson died, I was working at Blockbuster at the time, and this guy came in, regular customer.
And you're renting
And
out Michael Jackson death photos?
no, he came in and he said, "Hey, look at this," and he just showed me his phone, and it was what he
Oh
claimed
my God.
of Michael Jackson's body in the coroner's office.
I saw that photo because I just watched on Reels. They had a documentary about his last day, and
Yeah,
he couldn't go to sleep, and he would always take propofol,
I
which
think
is a
that's what it's
white
called.
milky substance. And
Yeah,
since he's very childlike, he would call it his milk. And so whenever he
yeah,
needed to go to bed, he's like, "I need my milk." And he was
Oh my
fine
god.
taking it, but one day they tried to wean him off it, so they gave him a bunch of other stuff, and it wasn't working. So they finally gave him propofol, and that's what killed him. Like all the stuff.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
usually what does it when you mix things. Speedballs, that, booze and pills, that's what kills people.
yeah.
And I was there at that guy's trial because I got jury duty during that time. So
Holy shit, was that nuts?
I got to
Oh,
walk into a courthouse with a bunch of like paparazzi and signs. I'm like, oh, this is great. Anytime something's like TV, I love it.
You get jury duty way more than anybody I know, Derek. Like that's
I only got it
crazy.
twice.
Okay, but
I've
I
had it
don't.
twice.
I guess you. I feel
Memorable.
like because you talk about it, like you've talked about it. You like live blogged your jury experiences, so it's like burned into my head.
I just watched that. I had never seen an episode of Inside Amy Schumer, but I caught the 12 Angry Men
Hmm.
episode. Do you know about this, Brendo?
I've seen. I think I've seen some of this.
It's the whole half hour is in black and white, and it's 12 Angry Men of a jury of Jeff Goldblum, Paul Giamatti, Vincent Kartheiser, Kumail Nanjiani, and a couple other comedians arguing over. Oh, and what's that guy's name? Hawk? Robert Hawk?
Oh,
Who's the guy
Bob.
from Dust Till
Oh,
Dawn?
Robert.
From
Yeah,
Dust Till Dawn.
Saul from Deadwood.
I've never seen Deadwood.
John
Um,
Hawk.
John Hawk, and it was all them debating whether Amy Schumer was hot enough to be on TV.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, this is brilliant. Like, she's not even in the episode, and they're all just talking about her potato face the whole time. And it's John Hawk just like convincing everybody, and Jeff Goldblum is like the foreman. It's great. I can't see any other episode being as good because it's all these great celebrities. But it was good. I saw Trainwreck.
Yeah.
There's
Was it
a Judd
good?
I still
Apatow
want to
movie
see
out
it.
there.
God, I have my movie backlog
Talk
is
about
so
movies.
fucking massive. I, God, I need to get a job like now.
Well, you got one.
Yeah, I need to like start working tomorrow so I can go see movies again. Because like I
Um,
seriously have no expendable income at the moment.
I had this thought that it was my least favorite Judd Apatow movie, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I still liked it a lot. I think I was getting over the Apatow prattle because maybe
Mhm.
so many other movies do that now. But the leads are great. Whenever it wasn't the leads, it was kind of like a scene where they go on and on about, how that Lionel Rama stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't my guys. It wasn't Jonah. It
So
wasn't Jason.
you
It wasn't
didn't approve
Martin.
of John Cena?
John Cena was funny in it.
Okay.
He comes off as thankless because for some reason whenever he's being tough with people, it's him being gay. He's like, "Well, you want to suck me off right now? You want to fuck me in my ass? I'll do that right now."
Oh my god, the idea, I have to see this now just to see John Cena saying all that stuff. Because you have to understand, like, Benson and I have, for like the last, like, years, just watched him be like, eat, like, the new Hulk Hogan, like, never give up, kids. I
Oh,
help
he's the
everybody,
kid
like,
guy. Don
let's
Fruity
go,
Pebbles.
kids. And, like, so I have to see this now.
You get to see John Cena naked.
That's awesome. I'm
You get
pro
to see him
that.
from the backside.
Nice.
It's not, and what's his name? Basketball star, not Michael
LeBron
Jordan.
James.
LeBron
LeBron
James.
James is great. There's
Yeah.
a scene where he
Well,
and
I
Bill
hear
Hader.
people.
What's that?
Heard that from like a few different people that he's really
There's
good.
a scene where him and Bill Hader are having lunch, and LeBron James is trying to split the check, and Bill Hader's like, "No, you're paying for it. You're a goddamn LeBron James." And he's like, "Hey, I'm not trying to be MC Hammer over here. I need to save my ducats." He's like, "Well, just pay your part." And then he's like, "Fine." And then he's like, "Oh, I forgot my money." He's like, "I'm not paying for you." It's a good scene, and I just did it. But there's
Nice.
more to that. There's a scene where, and have you seen that movie with Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler, We Belong Together? It was a David
They
Wayne
came
movie.
together, and it's
They came-
amazing. Yes.
Yeah, you know how they make fun of all the tropes
Yes.
of these comedies? Well, there's the trope that Bill Hader is talking with his man friend about his girl while they're playing basketball, but he's playing LeBron James, so it just everything he does is just slam.
Phil and I do the thing from They Came Together where it's just him and his brother going like, thanks. Like, Phil and I do that all the time.
The
Like,
thing
hey,
from
Phil,
that movie,
thanks.
the thing from that movie that made me like cry laughing is when Paul Rudd was trying to seem cool to Amy Poehler's kid and takes instead of a quarter behind there, it's a cheeseburger, and she's like, "Go eat that in your room, honey."
It's a great movie. It's funny. It's on Netflix.
And Wet Hot American Summer is coming out next week. More
Oh, I'm
David Wayne.
excited. There's so much
More
stuff
David
coming
Wayne
out.
stuff.
So great.
You know who's?
Did you guys say that you saw David Wayne at one of the panels you went to, Benson?
No,
I
no.
saw David Wayne at the Minions premiere.
Okay. Somebody was saying they saw David Wayne at something. I thought maybe. Okay. That makes more sense.
I mean, he's on another period, but he wasn't on that panel.
Okay.
He's on the show, but he wasn't on the panel.
Speaking of David Wayne and Paul Rudd, let's talk about another movie that came out last week that Brendo didn't
Yeah.
see.
I did see this one.
A little movie called Ant-Man.
I
What
like what you did there. A little movie.
Say that again?
I said I like what you did there. A little movie called Ant-Man.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh, there you go. I don't even think of it. Now, let's get. And this is what I hate that I'm doing this, but we have to get this out of the way. Was an Edgar Wright movie. No longer is an Edgar Wright movie.
Mhm.
Yes.
In fact, David Wayne was one of the potential candidates to take over Ant-Man.
That would have been fucking nuts. Oh, I would have loved that.
But that didn't happen either, Brenda.
I
But
know.
that didn't happen.
Oh,
It didn't happen. So Marvel chose their fifth choice.
Yeah.
The director would Bring It On, which I watched before Ant-Man, and I was like, "This is." And I told Josh this as we were talking about it. Competent movie. Nobody fell over when they were doing their triangles and their pyramids. And Down with Love is a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's good. And the guy directed wrote the Back to the Future ride, and
Sure.
a lot of Back to the Future ancillary stuff. Directed all the live action segments of and let's talk about this for a second, of the Back to the Future animated series, which is coming to Blu-ray and DVD or something.
those
It's coming to
fuckers.
something.
Those motherfuckers. They know what to do, and I'm
When I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, I can skip it because I bought the Blu-ray release."
That's exactly what everybody thought.
And then they decided to throw in a flux capacitor and
Yeah.
release the entire Back to the Future animated series, which has never been fully released anywhere.
Anywhere, and it's great.
It was released 2 episodes at a time through VHSs, for a few VHSs, but not the entire series.
Yeah.
I
I'm
have not
getting
bought
it.
a Blu-ray in like 2 years.
I want a
and
reason to buy it
I-
because you know what day it comes out?
Hmm.
October 21st, 2015.
Hell yeah.
Those fucking
Do
assholes.
you realize what that day that is?
I do.
That's the day.
Benson, drop some
Isn't
sign.
that the jump day?
That's the day he gets here. That's the day he arrives in 2015.
Yeah.
At I want to say 4:29 p.m. is the exact time.
Slow down there. Slow your roll over. But it's also the day often misrepresented in memes as the day
Yes.
Marty's
Yes.
come out, which is very annoying because when that day finally comes,
Every
it's not going to be
year.
as good.
Every fucking year, they're like, "Oh, it's Back to the Future time," and I always have to be like, "No, you stupid shits!" And now
Multiple
it's
times a
finally
year. It
coming.
happens multiple times a year.
And now it's finally coming. And then people
Yes.
are probably not going to do anything because they're a bunch of fucking dumb shits.
Well, now I know what I'm
Sorry.
doing. I'm
I'm
buying
mad.
that.
I'm just mad about this whole thing because now I have not. I seriously, you guys, I haven't bought a Blu-ray in 2 years, and I'm like, oh god damn it.
This is the set that I thought the Ghostbusters set was going to be.
Yes.
Remember, it came with that statue and stuff. It
Ah.
wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great set. You could have just bought the two pack and not gotten
Called
the
it
slime
today.
thing. But this is
And
comes with a little
let me tell
booklet.
you another something about DVDs right now. I'm sorry. Those fucking
Before
real
you do-
Ghostbusters DVDs are still 100 something odd bucks. It's bullshit.
What are?
The real
the big
Ghostbusters
set?
set?
Oh, the Firehouse.
Well, that's the only set that there is, and it's fucking $125. I just want to watch that fucking cartoon again.
I heard there was another set after that.
It's still like Time Life, and the cheapest they go is like 75 bones.
Well,
Not
they have
paying
to
that
pay-
much for
You have to
physical
pay
media.
for all that music. Oh, let's not say physical media. That's never going away.
It's going away. God damn it.
Hard drives fail, and I want to make sure I have things,
Fuck
not
all
accidentally erase things. Anyway, well, we got into a tangent in a
that.
tangent.
Sorry, you were
It's like
talking
Christopher
about
Nolan
your
is
Back to the
directing us.
Future. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm just I have thoughts about
I'm
this.
glad that that's coming out on that day because June 23rd this year passed without me buying that Arkham game, and Batman '89 came out on June 23rd, and that would have been a
Yes.
great thing to buy on that day, but I don't have a PS4 because I don't have a job, and I had to pay $1,300 on my car, so I couldn't buy it. Anyway, back to Ant-Man.
Yes.
I was like, listen, Marvel probably has its shit together enough that it doesn't matter who's directing this. And I went in and I watched it with an open mind, and I loved it. I loved it, Brendo.
I'm
think
sure
it
I'm
edges
gonna love
out. I think it edges out Avengers: Age of Ultron, which I watched
Whoa.
a couple days before.
Whoa, that's
They're
crazy.
neck and neck at least.
Okay.
To
Well,
me,
I'm
I thought it was
I'm with you.
fun.
I'm
was
totally with you.
different.
I'm on board here, Derek.
It was fun. It was different. I love the leads. I love the Marvel connections and stuff. I'm gonna say my piece before what inevitably will probably be a very angry counterpoint to all this for probably stupid reasons. But I don't know what he's about to say. I don't know what his thoughts are. I know that he was anti no Edgar
Derek.
Wright.
No, I'm sorry, Benson, please.
Well, I know he was no anti no
Don't
Edgar
play
Wright,
into Derek's hand here.
and I know he is a guy that is stubborn in his geekness. So, what did you think of the movie, Benson?
I loved it.
Oh,
I found
Yay!
it thoroughly enjoyable.
We're all friends.
I didn't think that you were gonna say that.
But I won't say that I was totally able to get the voice in my head out that was saying this should be an Edgar Wright movie. But for as long as I could quiet that voice, I found it to be a really great, very enjoyable film. Yeah, it's great.
That means there's hope for Benson.
You just like to put Benson in your little hole where you want him to be.
Or maybe he's
Derek,
grown. No, I told you my frustrations. I am Benson, and when we differ, I'm like, what does that say about me? There was something, I don't recall. There's something like there's a stubbornness of something where he didn't like something and we both did. I don't know what it was, and we don't have to think about that now because it's all peaceful on the popsicles.
All quiet on
planes.
the Western Front, you guys.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I
Real quick-
did talk with. I mean, I think it's universally at least pretty positive, not overwhelmingly positive, but everybody I've talked to
Everybody
has liked it. But I talked to
except
some
Ross
people
and Kim went after you like hardcore, and I wish
About
I'd seen
Ant-Man?
the movie so I could defend you because I was like, whoa.
I think that was more than being pro train wreck.
Yeah, but they were like getting all up on about
Well,
Ant-Man.
It bounces off my chest, Brendo. You need to swing in and save me. But it's
Okay,
good to know
that's
you're
good
out
to
there
know.
looking at the same moon. But I talked to people that really didn't like it and were convinced nobody liked it. It's like they said, well, the internet likes snakes on a plane too, and I'm like, I was like very frustrated. Like, why can't I just love?
Okay, first of all, like 50 people on the internet that were just really loud. like Snakes on the Plane, and then it
And
was
not
like it was
after,
all
not
not
after.
after, definitely not after. That all ended as soon as the movie came out. And if you can't acknowledge that, you're a fucking dipshit.
Whoa,
Yeah,
Brendo, putting down the
bring it on.
signs.
Bring it on, you guys. Bring it on, everybody. I'll take it all. I'll
Bring it
take
on
the weight of
again.
the
Bring it on
world.
all or nothing.
Take on the weight of the world for my fellow geeks.
I enjoyed Bring It On so much that I might see it again on Friday when they play it at the Newer, even though I just
I
watched it.
I kind of want to. I love that movie.
If you want to go,
I
we'll
can't. I really can't. The gas prices are nuts right now. I got to
But
save up my gas to go
no,
back up to.
you're in. It's time to start spending like your
I'm not in yet. I have no money right now. I
time to start
don't
spending
start
like
work
your
until August 3rd.
what's that
I
guy that Benson likes, the aviator?
I don't have credit
Howard.
cards,
Yeah.
so
You're Brendo Hughes
I
now.
have no money to spend. If I did, I would, but
Did you spend all of that EBT money?
I can't spend that on movies.
Let's
doesn't
do that
work that way.
reality. Do that reality bites thing where you put it all on the gas card.
Oh, I did. I've done that when I had a gas card. I mean, I guess you could do that with EBT, and people do. But guess what happens if you get caught and they have people that look for that? You go to jail for a long time. Welfare fraud is not a something you want to mess with.
You get white collar probably, and you love the last
Dude.
season of Orange Is the New Black.
I
it's
wouldn't
been fun.
last 2 seconds in prison. I'd be that fish at the beginning of Shawshank, crying his eyes out.
Who do you think would fare longer, you or Benson?
Benson, because Benson
I
can
don't know.
be cool.
I don't know.
when
Benson has
need
that-
be. Oh, dude,
you
I'm
have-
the blubbering of all blubber.
Your
part.
beard makes you look tough, and Benson has that look like, oh, we have one over on this one.
No, I would.
Is that look? You know that look he
The
gives.
first time a guard
conf-
yelled at me,
That
I
confused
would.
look.
Okay, here's what might happen though. I feel like maybe if I'm in a prison situation, I might have the ultimate Brendo Hulk out, and maybe I would survive.
That would be. I mean,
Because
okay.
there is the time. Because here's my line of thought here. Right now, if somebody like the idea of a guard yelling at me, let alone a fellow inmate, like I would immediately just start crying. And anyways, but the one time a weapon was pulled on me, I went red, and the next thing I remember is the dude was on the ground with a broken jaw. So when shit does
Jesus.
come down to when shit is on, I can deliver, but I don't know what it would take for me to do that. So maybe I would survive, but I feel like
So you'll
again,
survive, but you'll kill another inmate and spend the rest of your life in jail.
exactly. So it's
Then
probably a
you'd be
bad idea.
King Brendo.
I was
Cell
just
Block
gonna
8.
say on the geek stuff front coming out of Comic-Con, DC had a very strong showing movie-wise, in a lot of people's opinion. I'm a Derek that the parts of that Batman v Superman trailer are some of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen, and I hate the Ma Kent is like a bad guy now. Like what the fuck is that? But
They'll
all that
probably reveal
aside,
that she's actually Darkseid.
all that aside, today somebody posted a video on YouTube where they cut it so I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, Always Sunny, but it's the Dayman versus Nightman song, and it's the funniest. I would watch that movie like I'd be there opening night in a fucking heartbeat because it'd be awesome. So that was funny. I've watched that like 20 times today. It's pretty great.
The
That's
Suicide Squad trailer was not as good as I hoped it would be, but still,
It still looks pretty awesome.
But
But for me, the two trailers. Sorry, Derek. Sorry.
I'm double downing on. I was ready to say that Benson double downs on Geek when I was so ready to fight him on this Edgar Wright thing that I was like I don't know what to do with it. But I'm double downing on Leto Joker. I really like him.
I'm approved. I approve that.
I hate Jared Leto Joker. I think he looks stupid. I've hated every single Jared Leto performance I've ever seen in a movie.
You're
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
All right.
Be-
Everything that a lot of people are saying about Leto Joker, I could go find the quotes now. Is almost
Oh, about
exactly
Heath Ledger?
what they said. Yes. Did
Yeah,
you
I
just
am-
mock me, Benson? Did you
Hold
just
on.
fucking mock me?
because
Is that your?
I'm tagging
it's
out.
True.
Benson,
It's
this
fucking
is
true.
yours.
No, the
Benson,
difference is Heath Ledger was a good actor before he was cast. Jared Leto was a fucking shitty actor.
Jared Leto, Heath Ledger has in way more shittier movies before Dark Knight. Leto's been nominated for Oscars.
He
So
won
is
an
Heath
Oscar, which he
Ledger.
didn't deserve because he was fucking shitty in that movie.
Oh my God, you're fucking nuts.
Is that a homophobic comment?
I don't know.
No,
maybe.
it's because it's a fucking one-dimensional character. Where
Brendo almost like
He-
completely beat by just
Did you
nonchalantly
watch that
going, I don't
movie,
know,
Benson?
maybe.
I did watch that movie,
All
and
right,
I
at
saw a
least you
completely
watched the
wonderful
movie.
performance of a character who had no characteristics other than that she was trans, and they gave him an Oscar for
Fucking
it.
crazy.
It was
We
condescending.
don't call him trans anymore, Benson.
I just can't believe you just mocked my voice, you fucker.
Well, I wasn't mocking the voice. I was mocking the collective
But it's
internet.
I'm
You're
just
lucky
saying
you did it-
like
you're lucky you did it on a
word
good
for
day.
word. That's all I'm saying is word for word. Like a lot of the criticisms were lobbed against Ledger
And I think
Joker.
there is a difference here, which is Heath
Okay,
Ledger.
go to your corners. I'm going to have the
completely-
last word on this.
So you obviously haven't seen A Knight's Tale.
I have seen A Knight's Tale. It's a shitty movie, and Heath Ledger performs amicably in it.
That's not a shitty movie.
That's
Not
a
even when
shitty
they start
movie.
dancing to the David Bowie songs.
That-
Where you didn't
To
get your
be honest,
bone
I
up.
was just trying to concede to Brendo there because I had a larger point. I do kind of like Knight's Tale.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Well, go to your. This is a scary, nonchalant Brenda. It's way scarier than the Ellie Brenda.
All right.
Anyway,
Well,
go to your corners because I'll have the last say on this, like Judge Mills Lane or something. I'm the only documented Ledger supporter in 2006.
I was a supporter.
I'll fight all of you.
I was a supporter.
Number two, maybe
Because-
we should diagnose Benson some My So-Called Life.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Although that character may not. What's that?
I said fair. I have not seen that.
But now that I think about it, maybe that character will rub him the wrong way.
Possibly because it's the kind of person that probably maybe gave Benson a swirly.
Wow, Brendo's like dropping the mic with every line he has. He's very Jess-like. I don't know. I never finished My So-Called Life.
It is, yeah, Jess, there's a lot of similarities between Jess
I do
and...
love me some Jess.
If you love some Jess, I don't know why you wouldn't love Jordan Catalano, because...
All right.
Anyway.
Final word on this Joker
My-
thing
well-
is.
What?
You have something to say?
No, I was going to talk about my votes for best trailers at Comic-Con.
Well, I'll say that the internet needs to stop with this. The Joker is Jason Todd theory. That's stupid. It doesn't.
No, that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
Nah.
Before you get into your best trailers at Comic-Con, how far are you in Gilmore Girls?
I'm like halfway through season 6.
Oh, you
Okay.
haven't even hit the wall yet.
She's gone back to Yale. That's like the last big thing. That
I sent this. I remember when I hit season. Is it season 7's the last season, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I sent the panic tweet to Derek, like, "What is going on?"
I was like, get ready, because that last episode of season 6 is gonna piss you off. And did it?
Of what? Season 6?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fucking nuts.
Careful.
But I'm
Careful, guys.
I'm talking about like when season 7 started, and it like, because I sent this panicked tweet to you about that, where I'm like, "What the fuck? This show is going down the toilet faster than any show I've ever seen."
At the end of
I tell
season
you-
5 is where. What happens at the end of season 5, Benson? I don't want to accidentally say something.
Yeah, sorry.
Fuck. What? I mean,
So
she's.
Rory
is that-
quits Yale.
Yeah. Is that the end of season 5 or is that the start of season 6?
Well, I
can't
just knew that for a long time, and when
I
you're
think
watching
the start of season 6 is she's living in the guest house, so she already quit.
when
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
didn't go to Europe, no, because they didn't go to
Fucking
Europe to
Logan,
get
and Logan's the fucking worst. Who's worse, Logan or Dean?
Dean.
Logan.
Logan is by
I
far
mean,
worse than Dean. Oh, you haven't gotten into the worst of Logan, so you can't vote on that
But
yet.
at the end of season 5, they didn't go on their Europe trip because they were mad at each other. And
Yeah,
what I wanted to say was that
Oh.
when you're going week to
I
week,
was crying.
and
Crying my eyes
and
out.
Lorelai and Rory aren't talking to each other, it's a
Oh.
real hard show to watch.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Actually, I've been kind of busy. I wasn't quite going week to week, but that was a very hard stretch to get through. I'm very happy we're back talking to each other now.
What's her name? Sarah Ramos from Parenthood was
Oh my God,
was
I
periscoping
love
her.
her.
her Gilmore Girl watching, and she's super hot, and it was the driest Gilmore Girl commentary ever, and it was the hottest thing I've ever seen.
She was
She
trying to
was like, "Oh
say,
my God, Emily, I love her.
okay,
Oh,
she
Michelle's
has
being
some weird
sassy. I
opinions
hate
though.
TJ." I
She
know
hates TJ. Why does she hate TJ so much?
who's
Oh,
TJ
TJ's
again?
the best. Liz is
TJ
like,
is Jess's brother-in-law.
Jess's brother-in-law.
TJ would be Luke's brother-in-law.
Luke's brother-in-law, sorry.
Oh, that is dating
Luke's
Jess's
sister.
mom. Or
No.
Jess's mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mary's just.
Oh, okay. That's who I thought it was. Anyway, I can see TJ hate because he's a dumb
TJ.
lug.
He's a lovable
He's a lov-
goofball.
But the thing
Great.
that scares me is how much girls love Logan.
I agree.
And
'Cause-
Benson loves Logan now, so he's right up there.
Well, I mean, I don't say I love. I'm a
You
Jess
have
guy
to
first and
complete the
foremost.
series, and if you still like Logan at the end of that show, then there is something wrong with your psyche.
By the end of season 6,
I want to hear Andrew's wife's ranking of the 3 main boyfriends, by the way, which I think is absurd.
I think I
No,
heard at
no.
Comic-Con, but go ahead.
She goes Logan number 1,
Yeah.
Dean number 2,
Oh,
Jess number 3. Which
Oh
is
my god.
that's the girl's perspective. You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it and learn how to adapt to that.
I guess.
Logan is the worst.
I hated Logan the entire way through. I'm a
Me
Marty
too.
guy.
It's
Hold on.
just the way he becomes part of the group is like fucking like just the douche. He's a
Every
giant
time I
fucking
saw
douche.
him in the opening credits, like he's here to stay.
Yeah.
I hated that.
And then cause remember that dude that was like hanging out with Rory like at the beginning of school, and the way
Marty,
Logan
the naked guy.
the way
Naked guy.
Logan treated Marty was like the worst. That gave me flashbacks to
Be
like.
careful.
When I was a teenager.
No, you saw the way Logan treated Marty, right?
Oh
that
yeah,
was
he negged him. He Warren baited him.
that was the worst.
When
Yeah,
I
that
was a
wasn't- that
teenager,
wasn't great.
when I was a 15-year-old boy watching Gilmore Girls, I was like, if I got to take over, or if I was deciding to write Gilmore Girls fan fiction, I would write
Sure.
myself into the season, and Rory would fall in love with a guy like me. And when I rewatched it, and I was watching poor Marty trying to watch Marx Brothers
Oh,
movies
Marty.
with Rory. I don't know if you got this far, Benson. I'm sorry.
I did.
I was
did.
like, that is me. That is me, and I'm being Logan. I get Loganed all the time.
Sure. I mean,
you get
I
that
think
far,
that's the. I've got that far, and I also think that's the experience of a lot of it.
Well, why don't you talk to us? Why don't we wrap it up with your favorite trailers, and then we'll do the Brendan.
Okay, I have my top 2 are Deadpool, which is fucking awesome, and I've only seen the like bootlegged one, and it's still fucking amazing. And then I think my top one, my
I
number
watched
one.
somebody in Hall 8. The guy that got me in. I watched somebody record Hall H footage, and I was like.
And then
like-
I watched it. He showed it to me.
You saw first generation footage.
Yeah.
I felt like I was Bonnie to his Clyde. I was like all hot blood. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get caught. Then we
So many
furiously made
people-
out in the back later.
There's like 8 different recordings of that trailer up on YouTube. Like you guys were definitely good. You're fine. And again, I am 100% for that behavior because nobody should have to go through what those poor people had to go through to stay
I know, but they
alive.
choose to do it, and that's kind of people.
Yeah, but we should not reward that fucking behavior. That should not
Why?
be rewarded.
if they want to wait.
Okay, after seeing that, Benson keeps leaving. After seeing that, I am 100% because we always talk about because yes, we've had pedestrians get struck by cars, but the first death at Comic-Con, it's gonna happen in that fucking line, dude. Like,
But didn't the Twilight lady already die?
she was crossing the street way down towards the front of the convention center.
Okay.
But like,
Can you hear-
I'm talking about. Yes, I can hear you, Benson.
Okay.
You good?
Back.
I'm saying that if there's
Hold
gonna
on,
be
stop.
a death at Comic-Con,
Hold on, stop for a second. Benson, say something.
Can you hear me?
Can't hear him.
why
Can
can't
you?
you hear him and I can hear him? That's weird.
Uh-oh. That means we better start wrapping up.
Okay.
You can't hear Benson right now?
Nope.
What the fuck?
All
I
right.
don't
Well,
know.
I made
Well,
a
we're
point
almost
about.
done.
Can you tell him to let me talk for just a second, Brenda?
I hate this. What the fuck, Derek?
I didn't do anything.
Why can I hear him then and you can't? That's obviously something. God, it's your fucking Mac guys on your dumb Macs.
Well,
I'm not on a
slow
map.
down. Let's wrap this up.
Sorry, this is stupid.
It's alright. It's 1 in the morning. We're all tired, I'm sure. Let's bring it home safe.
Go ahead.
You can't hear him talking, Derek?
No? Well, we're almost done.
This fucking bullshit. All right. Well, my top trailer, I gotta say, is Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Which
It's
I
fucking,
showed you.
which
Which I
you
showed
showed
you
me.
in bed. It was like we were husband and wife. I'm like, take a look at this.
And it was incredible. And then I watched it all day the next day, and I sent it to people, and they fucking did it. I was so convinced that like it was either gonna not happen or it was gonna be shitty, and like
Looks
they
good.
fucking did it. Well, Raimi directed the pilot, so there you go. But holy shit, like
Yeah.
it is on.
Benson,
I'm
what did
so
you think of
excited
it?
for that.
I
Let me
enjoyed
know when
that
you're
trailer
done.
quite a bit.
He's talking.
I thought it looked awesome. Ash is back. He's still him. It looks awesome. I can't wait. There's some nice bits of gore. I'm glad it's on Stars. It's a lot of fun. Big 2 thumbs up. And I'm done
All right.
talking now, Brent.
He's done talking there,
The
Derek.
last time this happened, though, we had funny timing when I finally listened to it all told. Anyway, let's wrap it up with our Brendo Man Minute of pop culture. A
All
lot's
right,
happened.
I don't know. I've been watching wrestling and I went to a job
Okay.
interview, but let's see here
Hold on,
from
let
the
me get my clock up here.
okay
And ready,
okay.
set, and go.
50 Cent lost all his money, but apparently he didn't. He's just saying he's bankrupt because some woman is suing him for all his money. I don't know. 50 Cent might be bankrupt, so he might be the new MC Hammer. So make all those jokes now. Everybody else is joking about the fact that Ashley Madison got hacked, and like all these celebrities are making funny jokes. But you shouldn't joke about hacks because you're gonna be the next
You're gonna
person
be
to get
next.
hacked. So everybody, we should not be rewarding hackers, you guys, even if it is some cheating dating website or whatever the fuck that thing is.
But
Stop it.
if it's anonymous, we'll let them do what they must.
Yeah, all right. Well, no. And what else is going on? Everybody's still freaking out about new Ghostbusters, and I put up a thing on my banner so I could get out all the trolls. And
Oh, yeah?
because I'm so fucking tired of people ripping on the Ghostbusters
5,
thing.
4,
And
3,
fuck you if you make
2,
fun of that shit.
1. That was good. We got a lot of angry Brendo. Positive angry Brendo. You almost yelled at me for my connection. I don't know if it's me. I think it's Benson. But we'll see.
Then why can I hear him and you can't? I think if something fucked. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I saw you get mad, and I was like, oh.
I haven't
I didn't do
smoked pot
anything, and then you're like, you!
I haven't smoked pot in 36 hours, you guys.
Well, it's all for the best.
No,
so
it's not.
You're mellow on pot?
Yes, of course I'm mellow.
Talk about the vote that you had without me in the room, and how Lindy kind of harshed your mail.
Oh, well, I tried to get so that we could, like, deliver pot to the room, and Lindy, like, shut that shit down.
That's sad.
Because I called a place, and I asked them if they would deliver, if I could, like, stand on a corner, and they said no. So I'm like, will you deliver to a hotel? And they said yes. And then I asked Lindy, and he's like, no. And I'm not going to make anybody uncomfortable. So it was fine. I drank a little bit.
Met up with these like stoner kids that were walking, talking Cheech and Chongs.
Well, we were talking to those guys about music and stuff, and that
I know, but they were asking you about it, and that's how I found out. But it was like, wow, you meet a lot of weird. They were like Muppets. They were like high Muppets. They were.
I
like,
love talking to people at Comic-Con. Like that's my favorite thing to do.
They were like members of the Electric Mayhem. They're like, hey man, you want some edibles, man? And you're like, no, thank you, I'm fine. You were very professional about it. And one last thing. Andrew Lindy's been through the ringer in this episode, but I feel really bad that as I was leaving Comic-Con on Saturday night, Andrew asked me a question, but I didn't think he was asking me, and I ignored him as I walked out the door, and then Brenda, you told me afterwards, Andrew asked you if you're going to LA Podfest. I'm like, oh, I didn't think he was talking to me. So sorry, Andrew.
Okay.
And for all the rest of the things that we said about it. All true.
Benson, any last words here?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Benson's good, Derek. So are we ready to? Ready?
We're ready to go.
All
So
right.
what's the stuff?
Be sure to check us out, popsiclespodcast.com. That's where you can ask us questions. Popsiclespodcast@gmail is where you can email us stuff. You want to be an anonymous pussy, feel free, and we'll make fun of you. We haven't got. I guess I. Oh, wait, I think I might have had a. Oh shit. Anyways, I think we had some popsicles mail and I forgot about it. We'll do it
You
next
want to
time.
just bring it up right now?
Let me see. Let me see if it's worth. Yeah,
Okay.
let's just do it now. Let's just see. Let me see what it is first.
Should I
think
go in and out really quick to see if it fixes the audio thing?
No. Don't worry about that. I don't want
I
to
have
get it
something to
fucked
tell you
up.
guys after.
Okay. Well, you can do that after, maybe.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'll try it after.
Why is this Google inbox thing is? I don't like it. They keep trying to push it.
Maybe it's Google.
Google. All right, let's see here. Popsicles reader mail from Steve Espinoza. Here we go. Oh, he wrote a whole big thing. We should probably wait. He made a hot or he found a hot or not list. Oh, we can do this real quick.
Okay, go ahead. You lead it.
This is pretty great. He found a hot or not.
Actually, let's save it for when I can hear Benson. We'll save it for next time.
Okay, because he found a hot or not from his middle school yearbook in 1996.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
We'll do that next time.
It's pretty great. We'll do it next time? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, go to popsiclespodcast.com. Go to BenviewNetwork.com. Check out all the other podcasts. If you want to hear me and Phil talking about Comic-Con for 4 hours, go to RadioBrendo.com. And I actually just made a wrestling chat group for Matt and Brendo's wrestling show. So if you look up that on Facebook, you can join our group if you want
Like
to
a
talk
chat group?
about, well, like a group, like a Facebook group where we talk about
Are you
wrestling.
hoping to find that lady again?
No, I just wanted to talk about wrestling with people. There's a lot of cool shit going on in wrestling right now.
What was her name?
Talking to me?
What's Lulu Valentine?
Who? Are you
The
talking to
lady.
me?
Oh,
Yeah,
Jerry
the
Valentine.
AOL lady.
She wasn't into wrestling.
I know, but you're going to chat all the chat groups in the world trying to find her.
I'm not gonna lie. I've typed her name into Google before and I can't find her.
What was her name again?
I want to
Lulu
know what she
Valentine?
fucking looked like. Like, I want to know.
What if it was the Good Bodies?
Oh my god, the
Trying to
ultimate
troll
like
you.
troll.
What was the area code? Where did she say she lived?
I don't know. I don't even have any of those emails because that was
You said
AOL.
Texas, though, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Jerry Valentine, if you're out there, BrendoMan@gmail.com.
If you're out there, he's gay now.
We could blur the lines a little bit.
Oh, god damn! That is so fascinating when you say things like that. And
I don't know.
And if Cruz is listening, please do a blurred line. Did he already do that? Or do a blurred line?
No, he didn't do a blur. Well,
Do
how
a blurred lines to
You
Brendo's.
know you want me. You know you want me. The Brendo lines. No lines. There'd be no lines. I don't know. But
If she
yeah.
showed up and was hot, would you have sex with her?
I don't know.
That's fine.
The last time a
I always
girl
said
asked
it's
me,
fine.
I'm just gonna tell you right now. I don't know because the last time a girl asked me to have sex, I immediately bailed out.
Oh.
So, but that was like a long time ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, this girl added me on Tinder, and then she talked
Whoa.
to me a little bit, and then she stopped talking to me, and I was like, this is probably for the best.
You were on Tinder looking for girls?
I look for everything.
That's so
I just was looking for friends, because
That Tinder ain't for friends there, friend.
I don't know. I'm not even
Looking
looking
up.
for. Well, anyways, I don't know. I met up with a dude, and he immediately freaked me out. So then I was like, well, maybe I'll try a girl, and she freaked me out, and I think I'm just freaked out all the time. I don't know what's wrong with me, Derek.
Should calm down. Enjoy the company of a young
you hear
lady
Benson
or
now,
a
Derek?
young man.
Benson,
Benson?
talk.
Can you hear me, Derek?
No.
God damn it!
Anyway, is that it?
I guess that's it. Benson, go.
Go to BenviewNetwork.com. Check out all the shows on there. Especially like to highlight Pick Your Path, which is a very exciting new product. It's a choose your own adventure style podcast with
Oh,
chapters
sweet.
like an audiobook, so you can skip around and make the story yourself. Also,
That's really
Benview,
sweet.
Benview on Spielberg. That's hated by Derek. Where me and Justin Keys on talk about
I can't say anything right now. This is great.
And of course,
I'm gonna hear it eventually. So
Shut Up Leonard, Benson's Boombox, and Matt and Bros Wrestling Show, all on BenviewNetwork.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Dr. Matt Benson. That's Dr. Matt Benson. Back to you, Brendo.
All right, Derek, go.
what was really sweet?
The Pick Your Path podcast.
Oh, okay. At Derek Armijo on Twitter. That's
All
it
right.
for this episode, our Comic-Con wrap-up. We'll see you next time with more stories. Lots of Brendo Man revelations. We'll see how far that goes next time.
Yeah, you never know.
I've been Derek Armijo.
Brendan Creasy.
Matt Benson.
And Matt Benson.
He already
saying,
said his name.
I know, I have to say it for me. And I'm Matt Benson. That was how I'm going to end every episode. And I'm Matt Benson saying good night. Okay.
That's actually pretty good. I like that.
Okay, I'm going to
Cool
stop.
stuff.
I'm going to come back in because I need to tell you guys two things.
I'm
See
going
what
to stop
happens.
recording.
Okay.
Derek is going to leave.
All right, I'm going to stop the YouTube because we want to tell you, I got to discuss one,
Comment. Sure.
oh yeah, real quick, so Derek doesn't need to be here.
But
Wait.